All right, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
Hey, Ronnie Jr.
Woo! I gotta take a beat. It's just like so much going on. This was a week that felt like a week. you know,
You know what though? That's the
Tell
lifestyle.
me.
That's
Yeah,
the lifestyle.
it's because there's a fine line between your ambition and then I don't know. I don't want to go on and on, but I just feel like I don't if you here it is. If you come at me and tell me I'm not at my best, I'll just say shut up. I don't mean you, Russell. I mean, whoever. Okay, so usually you get that cheery intro, so let's try it again. Do, 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 do. Hey, I am Randomly Ronnie Jr. You are watching hashtag Randomly with Ronnie Jr. along with Russell Ray Silva, which we like to say because everyone needs a little R&R. Boom. See, I did it.
Yes, we got through it. Hello,
And
everybody. I mean,
and
look, I can use a little R&R because of the way I'm feeling today, but the show must go on, and I'm
yeah,
here for the fans and for all of our viewers, which I appreciate.
I like the way you talk to the people like it's 10,000,
It is
20,000
10,000.
people. Like we're in an arena and they love and adore us. But I guess in theory they do. We're gonna
If
get into
everybody could
episode.
just send me $1 to my
hmm
Instagram, then I would have $10,000.
I mean, there's a Patreon for Ronnie. I'll let you know what it is during this show. But on the real, episode number 12. And the funny thing is, I probably shouldn't have introduced anything like, oh, I'm in a lower tone energy, because a lot of times people don't even know or see it. But I think the reason I like to do it is because when I come on this show, you sometimes get Ronnie being very randomly being very like Larsa this, and very confident. But a lot of times I was just having a conversation recently about that confidence comes from sometimes a place, you know what I mean? Sometimes a little bit of adversity or some frustration. So I try my very best to be the baddie that I am, but
Yeah,
I also try to mix it up and be vulnerable or whatever. And that's how you got to do it.
that makes one of us.
Oh, okay. So she's perfect. All right, fine. Um, before we start, I want to say we do mention this quite a bit, but it's always important to say because why not? You're on the Peacock streaming platform. You're enjoying and watching Real Housewives of Miami. Go ahead and check out Mr. Russell Ray Silva as a host on Create the Escape. It's completely like an antithesis of what we have on Real Housewives of Miami because it's very dramatic. But Create the Escape is like an escape room. It's a lot of fun. And it really allowed Russell to get into his design bag, which was kind of cool to see. It's a really great program, and it's right there on Peacock streaming. Which, by the way, everybody, this is not just me. Everybody is now saying Peacock is kind of the leading platform that they enjoy. Isn't that something?
Peacock, you know what's funny? Peacock is number one. Like they're just killing it across the board. But also Shane today, when he came out of the gym, there was a male peacock that was outside of the parking structure of the gym. Talk about a sign.
Okay, well, we loved it already, and we love it even more.
Here's to that
Okay.
because Russ and Ronnie are gonna get picked up for Peacock for the official
Oh,
recaps of Housewives. You're welcome.
well, I am very expensive, Mr. Russell, so
I'm expensive too. I ain't cheap.
they need to make it right. No, I'm joking. But we do have a good time. I'm joking. We do have a good time recapping this series, and episode 12 was no different. I'll talk about the background that you see behind me in just a moment. But first, I guess we can't really start this episode 12, without getting right into something that was all over online. Bravo does this really well. And we got these pictures from RHOM.peacock. The reunion looks. Russell, you're more the fashion one, like you really like take to fashion. I'll put up a photo and then just give me your honest reaction. We'll start with I'm so mean.
Okay.
I'm so mean. I'm so mean, and I try not to be. We'll start with the most lackluster
Not
of
lackluster.
the series, let alone I didn't love this, but tell me what you think. This is Adriana, friend of the show. She earns every penny of the friend of the show role. She's likable on some occasion, but it's nice. It's very, is it Vegasy? I don't know. What do
Here's
you
the
think?
thing. Here's the thing when it comes to Adriana Demora's look. She blends too much with the background itself. And by the way, Adriana Demora is wearing Millie for the reunion look, and she blends too much with the background of her photo. So therefore she's being drowned out. She's tan, her dress is tan, the whole background is tan. So she really gets lost in the photo itself. And the black shawl really didn't work for me, like the feathers. It didn't work. I think it's a great look if she was walking maybe a red carpet where there's a lot of vibrant colors. But for a reunion look where you have a lot of nudes and earth tones, an earth tone dress was just not going to work unless it was significantly cut to stand out. Like, for example, Gertie's, who were Stellastino. Gertie's look stood out because of the way that was cut, because of the silver, because of the way that the skin was exposed and really kind of draped over her body. I really love Gertie's look.
Yeah, Gertie was quite an eye catcher for sure. And I think she will be, she's gonna get all the accolades, and she's such a beautiful woman, and she's been that way throughout all the what is it called, the confessionals as well. This dress does seem like little to the imagination, and I think it's more of a sitting dress and a photographed look. But I mean, she did knock it out the ballpark, and I was going to save her for a little bit later for us to talk about, but no, she's wonderful. As for Adriana, yeah, it is eye-catching. It is va-va-voom in a little bit of a way, but it may have not worked. And that's a good point that you mentioned too. Like, if you're blending into the background, but at the same time, do they know what the background is? I have a feeling they do. And by the way,
they all have a very similar look going on for this reunion. For the reunion of this season. However, I think the biggest issue is there wasn't enough dramatic detail to Adriana's dress or her makeup. She could have had a dark eyeshadow. She could have had blue eyeshadow. Any sort of pop or dark mysteriousness that would come with that look would have really made her look. Would have really pulled her look together and made her pop. But unfortunately, her makeup was very subtle. It was a lot of earth tones. She had more of a mauve kind of nude lipstick on. It wasn't really a popping red. It wasn't a maroon. A maroon would have even stood out. It would have been subtle, but it also would have stood out against that dress, the background, and everything. But there's a lot of bronze going on with this look, which I didn't like.
The word you mentioned a lot was basic, and I hear you. I hear you. It was on the more basic side for what Adriana could pull off. Our critique is take it in stride. Like, you could be like, well, what do you know about fashion? I mean, listen, we're just giving the opinion, and it was a little bit more on the basic side. I like some of the things you just mentioned. Yes, like, popping with a little bit of red on the lip or something more dramatic would have definitely done it. But these are just photos, we got to wait to see the reunion trailer and stuff like that. Let's move on to our other favorite housewife, friend of. This is Kiki, who wasn't actually aired in the reunion last season. So it's nice that she's going to have her moment, and she's sitting with the girls this time.
You know what? I really love the maroon to this, and I'll tell you. Here I go again, telling you why. Okay, I really
how very Wendy Williams of you.
Let me tell you why. Let me get into it. So Kiki's look really complements everything that she has going on. She's a beautiful brown-skinned woman, but she also chose, because they say those who choose red choose to be noticed, and she had a shade of red, which really makes her stand out against this whole look and theme that Bravo created for the reunion. And I think she just did it. She knows how to accent her body. She knows that, a peekaboo outfit here, there, whether it's the abs, the shoulders, the leg, it really works on her. And I think the color scheme she chose was perfect.
This is such a, what is it called? A regular detail that of course she's going to work with, but we talked about it last week. We actually advocated for, we thought Charisse was wonderful. You always have to dress for your body type, body style.
Yes.
Obviously Kiki doesn't really have many challenges in that department, but at the same time, she did something to accentuate her height. She did something to accentuate that leg. And to me, that really worked. Yes. And the color scheme of being kind of the only one who went maroon when it was like a little bit like what was the overall theme? Well, I guess the theme could have been maroon too, but for her to take it, she got the ball and she ran with it. I really loved, her look.
We have to keep in mind that Kiki is a professional model, so she knows what accents her body the best. So she knows how to bring together a look probably better than any of the other girls in the cast.
We're going to get into Kiki, just how we feel about her, throughout the course of these episodes that we do. And thank you for following youtube.com/randomlyRonnie Jr. And of course, maybe we'll be seeing some New Jersey. We'll talk about we'll talk in a little bit. But what I wanted to say is I'm excited to see where this show. Whoa.
Excuse me. Sorry, technical difficulties.
All
And we're
right.
back.
All
We're
right.
back.
I don't know
Better
what's
than
going.
ever.
I don't know what's going on over there. But I will tell I will tell you that with Kiki, I was just locating in an interview. I believe it was through Jason Carter, who's doing that show out there in South Florida. And Kiki was expressing that, a lot of her life did start at a very young age. I think she was out on her own as early as like 15 years old. So there's so much more than all this fun stuff that we're getting from Kiki and this amazing fashion and this amazing style. And I'm just very interested in her, and I'm glad she had a really good look. So anyways, moving on from Kiki, we do got to get through the show. And I vowed to have a quick 30-minute show, and here I go talking again. I'm sorry.
I mean, we are Hispanic, and you know how we run on time. So like 30 minutes can mean 4 hours.
So, and then of course we gush over Larsa Pippen, baby. Larsa shutting shit down.
Larsa, she did not surprise me with this look. She wore, I love how you put Larsa. So like you're giving a little subtle shout out to me there. Thank you, Ronnie.
Oh, well, I don't know if anything was planned. I think that was from, who knows? But yes, shout out to Russell Ray Silva. Look, why is it always about you?
Thank you. Like,
this
because
is
you
why,
already know.
This is why we work together as a podcast duo, and of course our other projects as well, because like I've got no qualms about when he's selfish, and I'm always selfish. So who gives a shit?
So,
but really, I loved her look, and it was it could have went one of two ways. I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off here.
No,
it could have went, it's Larsa. You know how I get.
I'm gonna give you a moment.
It could have went one of two ways. This look could have signified that she kind of does the same look quite a bit. She really is comfortable in a certain style. Or it just now, in my opinion, the way I'd like to say it, is it's her signature look. Like this felt like if I were to close my eyes and dream, this is what Larsa would be giving. And what she really plays with a lot is just the silhouettes of, it's like covered up, but you're feeling all the curves that Larsa gives you. And it couldn't be more of a subtle beauty look. And I just love her.
You know what? Larsa was wearing Michael Castillo, who is, as we know, dresses every single celebrity from Jennifer Lopez to Beyonce to, I mean, you name it. He dresses everyone. And he actually just came out with a men's line as well with corsets. Very sexy. I actually want one myself. I want to wear all black and put on one of his corsets. They're very cute.
No, I can see that. Yeah.
It's all rhinestoned or Swarovski. Let me get that right. Let me not be subtle about something that is extravagant. But Michael Castillo has really built his empire because of the way that he knows how to shape women in dresses to complement and accent their bodies. Just like Donatella Versace, she really made an empire and a name for Versace after they had already been exploding. She made Versace even bigger because she knew how to dress a woman's body and she had the connections with the celebrity. And Michael Castillo, Michael Castillo definitely does the same exact thing when it comes to his look and his brand. He knows how to dress his artists and he knows how to dress his celebrities, and they really shine when they walk down the red carpet. I think Beyonce has gotten at least 7 or more looks from him. So I think it's great. I think Larsa knocked it out the park. And again, if something works on your body, why not use it over and over, just in a different color, a different style? If that cut works on your body, keep it. Bring it up again?
Yeah, it's very sensual. Say it again.
No, leave it up and keep it up for a second. But you see how he accents the neckline and the bust line, and there's also a plunging neckline to accent the bust line as well. But he had that sheer connection in between there, and then there's the sheer camisole that wraps around the waist. But Larsa has worn a look similar to this before, but it really works on her. So I wouldn't see why she wouldn't wear this again, but just in a different format. So I think she knocked it out the park. I don't think there's much more to say, not to downplay what she did or how she dressed herself, but I think it worked perfect on her. And I think once you know how to dress yourself, then you're going to knock it out the park every single time. And Larsa's been in the industry for over 25 years. So she already knows what works on her and what doesn't. And, you know, as our bodies change and as we get bigger in certain areas, just like Beyonce, or smaller in other areas, you know, we embrace those things, but we accentuate them even more. And so I think Larsa did, I think she did an exceptional job of really accentuating her assets.
Yeah. And Marcus Jordan is just like, okay, like it's like, you know, she's giving sensual, and Larsa's a vibe, man. She just is a vibe. And let's move on. Otherwise, you know, we could talk about her forever. I want to see more of Lisa. I want to see what this looks like a little bit more in real life. What were your overall thoughts?
Lisa is actually giving Mariah for me. Mariah Carey Las Vegas residency. She really is, because Mariah is known to wear a mermaid cut on her body, but also have sheer or see-through on the legs. And this is very much giving Mariah. The only thing that Lisa was missing was a butterfly ring on her index finger. I think she looks great though. You know,
I think she's gonna be a star in the reunion itself. So yeah, the look is also complimenting that. Yeah,
I love that she wore all black as well. I think it symbolizes something more than what it actually might to the audience. And I think she's in mourning of her. I think she's in mourning of her relationship and of her marriage, because it's gone now and it's over. Right. They've officially filed the divorce docs, and I think that's great. You know, mourn it. And who says you can't be fashionable while you're mourning the loss of your spouse? In divorce, nobody died. My bad. Okay,
he's referring to the photo. Yes,
I think it's great when you're mourning the end of your relationship, and so you can wear something so sexy but also dark and moody, because you want to get those feelings out. Don't harbor those feelings. Lean into those and make it work for you. And that's exactly what Lisa did with this look. She leaned into losing her marriage and pursuing her new life and mourning, you know, one life and stepping into the next. And I think she knocked it out the park. She looks like a rock star.
Go off, Lisa. Moving on to Alexia.
Alexia is wearing Usama Ishite. And I think, you know, I mean, would it be Alexia's look if she wasn't showing the girls? Come on. Like, they are out, they're ready for a reunion, they're in the open, and you know what? I'm not mad at it. I'm not. I mean, I wish mine would show like that in my shirt. But we're working on it.
Oh, jeez.
We're working on it. Look.
You can't just give that all to the
you
YouTube.
Can't just cut me off when I'm about to give people a show.
You know, if they want the beauty, they will look at me. See, I got the power.
See, look at this. Like, it's there. It's almost like, come on, like, there's a little bit of a flow going on here. It's almost there. I'm on this push-up challenge with my brother and my nephews, but like no one logged in how many push-ups they did today. But anyways, once I get to Alexia's level, I'm going to be showing these off all the time, okay?
Ugh. All right now.
It's so stressful to be me.
In regards to Alexia and the girls, yeah, I mean, she's the Cuban Barbie, you know, is what we've heard for so many years, and she's able to kind of give that within this look. So yeah, I think all the girls look really great. I feel really weird because I'm not giving that much constructive criticism. I'm just like, they all look so beautiful. Nonetheless, moving on, we've got maybe a little constructive criticism.
Wait, no, do you not like this look? I hold on, but wait, go back to it for a second. Go back to it. Okay, look. Let me tell you what works for me in this look. She's really giving like Egyptian goddess, 12th century, like 800 BC. Like, she's really killing it. Like, she's giving gladiator. And I think, like, come on, she's in her 50s. She looks wonderful. And to be able to really pull off a crop top peekaboo belly, I think it was great. Did you not like this look? I'm so confused. I really like this look on her. I think she was really stepping into her own with it.
Oh, Julia.
Oh, no. Okay.
No, it's like, you know, I can't be sitting in a basic t-shirt and judge this beautiful woman. But I just would have rather see. I like what you said about the look, but I somebody else would have, that idea of like owning it and feeling it and yeah, like owning the garment. I just don't know that she is really going to be doing that. So I love the concept more. I don't know that it really works on Julia. That's kind of it. But
I think
I mean, she's still a beautiful woman. And the key point to this is you have actually been mentioning this a lot. One of the aspects of the storyline we want to see almost more than what she's been giving, which is the potential adoption, is her getting back into modeling, and
yeah.
really showcasing the way, like you say, bodies change, our physicality changes, but still being
Yes.
beautiful. So maybe within that context, this would have maybe not been the route, but in regards to her getting together with the designer and them getting their shot in terms of getting to have Julia wear
Dress a
this on this
housewife.
big show, it does matter.
Yeah.
So
I mean, she had more. Look, you put Julia and Adriana side by side. Julia's look is very much more dramatic, which I would have liked from Adriana. She has the I Dream of Jeannie ponytail. It's up. It's showing the face. She has the dark makeup on. She has the eye that's popping because she did, a little bit of the smoky eye. She has a nice lip that pops as well. And I mean, I can't knock her. Like I don't dislike this dress. And I don't dislike it on her. I think I really think she killed this. I can't, you got to give credit where credit is due. And I think Julia really did this. She did that. And I don't know how the housewives feel about it, but I think she really took a risk here. And I think it paid off. I wouldn't find this look on Fashion Police. That's for sure. And I just feel like,
well, gosh,
I'm
how
talking,
rude do you think I am?
You're judging me and you're not liking it.
I wasn't saying anything bad. I just said slightly like, oh, but no, she's fine. She's fine. She's fine. Again, not here to judge. And I like most of them.
You wait
but
till
just
I
like
pull out my reunion look.
right. Yes. I mean, you always dress. That's your thing. Me, I'm over here just in a chill, hat and t-shirt type deal, but it is what it is. Okay, so you want to know the funniest thing is I was almost like, where is the image? But we do have Nicole, who a lot of people liked. This is Balmain, right?
Yes. Is it Balmain or is it Balmain?
Well, I mean, no, I'm speaking how I speak.
House of Balmain.
Well,
like, she was given house for sure. I mean, it does blend in with the background because, again, if you look at the background, that has the gold bars stacked on each other in the shape of a triangle and a pyramid. Reverse pyramids. And Nicole's look does have a reverse pyramid and checkers and rectangles. So I don't like her against this background. However, on set, she really stood out with this look.
Was J-Lo's Met Gala, and I'm saying that wrong too, Met Gala, was when they did the almost like the Catholic theme, was that Balmain as well?
That was Versace.
Oh, was it? Okay. Well, either way, I love the structure of that. Huh?
Versace.
I love the structure of that, and I do love the structure of this as well. Not that they're like super, super duper similar, but they are to a degree. My only issue here, well, let's talk about what I like, because it always feels like I'm like coming for Nicole, but I love the hair. I love, that kind of like slick back look. J-Lo does do that too, not to always be inserting J-Lo into everything I say, but J-Lo kind of gives that in the right moments. I think it's good for her hair length. I think one thing about Nicole is I think we saw one episode when she had the longer hair, but there is really something beautiful about her in the short hair. It's very sleek. It's very regal. The only thing about this garment is on a couple other photos, it felt not as properly. I mean, how do I say this? For a petite and, what a great body that she has, it felt like a little bunched up in a couple of the spaces. Like, and I only go off this critique in terms of like when we watch RuPaul's Drag Race, or not you, but when I watch, the critiques sometimes are like, oh, that was you're going off the fine points. You're not saying anything's bad.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh, like if that could have been fitted a little more proper, I think she would have been like Gertie, like shut it down style. But right now I feel like it's a bit boxy in certain spaces. It almost weighs her down. Pretty damn good. Like it's like a 99% good, but there's just that 1% of room for you're such a little petite woman, so you can wear something really, really fitted to your body. Did you see that? I saw it online a couple. I thought of it when I first saw it in regular, like this photo. And
Yeah.
then I saw a couple other pictures, and almost every photo that she's in, it's bulky. And you can't
I
have that
see what you
good of,
mean.
yeah, you can't have that good of a
Yes.
body and that beautiful of a garment and not be hitting, because she's hitting everywhere else. The makeup, gorgeous. The hair, gorgeous. And Nicole gives style and grace. So
Yes.
yeah.
You know what? I just thought about the look, J Lo's look again, and it was Belmont. I was thinking you're talking about with the blue cross in between her chest,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah. Oh
I
yes,
was
yes,
thinking
yes.
of another red dress that
No, no.
Donatella designed for her. But yes, 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 that was Belmont. So this is very much that structure, that
Yeah,
very
this reminds me of that, even though they're totally different. But I feel that same structural. The shoulders are strong, but strong and sleek and sexy too. And again, it's wonderful. This is 99% amazing. And again, don't judge me. I'm in a t-shirt, but that 1% to just take it to that next level. Yeah.
You're
Shall
right,
we
you're
talk?
right, you're right. No, I
Shall we
feel
talk?
you on that.
Shall we talk about Marisol?
Yes.
Wait, but I'm
I
not saying
got a
that.
lot to say about this
But I'm
one.
not, listen, I'm not saying that in a bad way. I will tell you.
The only reason I sigh is because
Yeah, why'd you sigh?
Marisol was serving. Wait, hold on. I gotta get it together. Look, Marisol was serving Golden Girls at the look, straight up. I mean,
And what's
this
wrong
is
with that? What is wrong with
you
that? You want to
know,
fight? You want to fight? What's
I
wrong
don't
with
think it's
that?
terrible, but she wasn't giving me reunion. And I think what happened was she was trying to nail the look of old glamour and timeless Hollywood glamour, and it didn't come across that way. It came across as mother of the groom, not even mother of the bride, because mother of the bride is very sexy when it comes to the look most of the time, or something, women dress their mothers for their wedding very accentuated and complimentary to the body. And I feel like the men's mom in a wedding, unless you're gay. Okay.
That
So
girl, hey.
unless the gays are dressing their mothers for the wedding, giving very much Frumpty Dumpty. And that's my honest opinion. And I'm not even trying to be rude about it. But I feel like there were so many other looks that Marisol could have knocked out of the park that really would have worked well on her. But that look, she was drowning in that dress, especially with the cover up. Lose one or the other. So either come mid thigh with what you have now, or lose the jacket and just dress and body only.
Do you think that the great Marisol was trolling us with this look? Like, I feel like she actually went there to give you all of that commentary. It's kind of like, if you noticed last week or whatever week it was in her confessional, she's got like the dress looks one way, but then she's wearing like, I don't know what she's wearing on her nails, but it looks like almost like an ostrich or whatever. So I feel like
I might wear this
sometimes,
in my funeral and my casket with a not open casket viewing.
geez, you're no mercy for Marisol on
No,
Russell's
and
end.
I love her, and that's the thing is I love Marisol, but this was just not working for me. It was giving me 1940s funeral.
Can I tell you? Geez, gosh, this is the show where I say tell us how you really feel, but we do,
Tell
we
it
do.
like it is.
And we're gonna get to episode 12 in just a second, but this is just so fun. Where I will tell you my human sympathy, though,
Tell
I
me.
always feel like it's a little bit challenging because you've got, and this is not a diss to anyone younger, because one of my favorites, Melissa Gorga, was one of the younger of the housewives on her franchise. But I do feel like it presents as a very difficult situation when you've got these younger cast members who have, the skin's nice and tight, they have metabolism hasn't shook at all. And then you got Marisol, which is a different body style, and she gets limited to what she can do in comparison. So you almost go the other way. Now, I always was like, and I know not everyone really dug this, but I was such a fan of Dorinda from Housewives of New York because she gave an authentic representation of where her age was. We put a lot of stock on like the older we get, we're supposed to look like J-Lo still. And that's nice. And I think that's really, really cool. Of course, everyone wants to look good as they age. But I do want you to maybe squint a little bit more, Russell, and look at Marisol's look and say, you know what? It's not bad. It's not as bad as I thought.
No, let me tell you what would have worked better on Marisol. Let me tell you. No. If they would have draped you know, if she would have a flowy dress like Jane Fonda when she wore the pink to the red carpet, it would have cut right here. It would have been crew neck. It would have flowed off the back. They would have accentuated the waist. Marisol has a very nice chest that she can accentuate with that. It can be covered. It can be subtle. It could have been long sleeve. She could have worn, you know, a turquoise green, a very deep, rich turquoise green, like my phone. Look.
Oh, hold on 1 second.
She could have wore like a very deep turquoise green, and it really would have popped on her with the flowing over, almost like it was a cape. She really needed a cape look and an accentuated waist, and it would have worked well on her. What's not working for me with this look is that you have a structured shoulder line, and then you just have a dress that isn't fitted. It's not structured. It just falls, and it's just drapery. So think of like a lamp shade, or think of curtains, right? Where you have like the nice box structure at the top of curtains when you go into the hotel, but then you have the fabric drapes that are just going everywhere. That's what this is giving for me. Again, it would have worked if the top half wouldn't have been there with the bottom half, and she would have had a fitted bodice for the remainder of the dress. Or
that's
if she would
good.
have had a very Janet Jackson mid-thigh or, you know, mid-thigh look, it would have looked great on her. And if she would have had more of a structure on the shoulders and she would have had a mid-thigh look, it would have looked a lot better, and it would have complemented her body a lot better.
Okay, so she's not as young as she used to be, more structured on the top. That way, the illusion. That's how you're supposed to dress. Yes, absolutely. And I do like the aspect of the color of that green. I'm not sure the exact shade you were talking about, but I think that actually would have maybe been something. But also, again, is she trolling us, or is she kind of you know, because I do think she wants to get a rise out of people. That's like what she does. But I also, you know, I hear you, but there's something in my love of older, like I love when a woman gets, you know, a little older and is aging gracefully. So there's a little bit of a pass that I'm going to give her.
I can't give her a pass, because this reminds me of what a first communion granny would wear to a baptism with some penny loafers. It's not working for me.
Listen,
that
Mr.
is
Russell,
a 70. That is a 70 plus look, because that would have looked great on a 70-year-old.
Well, we don't know her age. She might be 70. I say that with love, though. You know,
she's a youthful 70, though. When you're a youthful 70 and you look good, really lean into that. And that's all I'm saying here. I don't think she's an ugly woman. I'm not saying any of those things. I'm saying that the designer didn't accentuate her the way that I feel she could have been and really have stood out with a look, especially given, you know, grace, beauty, and age. She could have been complimented a lot better than what the designer did for her.
All right. Well, we're going to get to episode 12 in a minute, but I do got to say the comments are agreeing with you. Marisol looks old with this dress on. Karen R. Who is that? Karen Rodriguez. How dare you, Karen?
No, Karen. Keep going, Karen, because she's giving Blanche from Golden Girls, okay?
And nothing's wrong with that.
Everything
but listen,
is wrong with that,
we do
baby.
have compliments
Blanche was
because
in her late 70s.
Oh, goodness. We take, you know, critique. I never say anything negative, but, well, we do kind of. But we love positive affirmations too. And this one from Karen says, Kiki has the best dress for this reunion. You know, it's like Russell says, even in other episodes, sometimes you have to have that standout moment. So if they were given this palette to wear, you know, what color would you call that palette, Russell?
I would say it was like deep, rich earth tones.
Yeah. And nobody jumped to do what Kiki did. That's saying I'm a baddie. I'm gonna wear my part-time position, but I'm gonna let everyone have it. And I agree. Thank you, Karen, for the comment that I do believe lovingly, nothing against anyone else. Kiki really did. She smashed this reunion look. And it gets excited. Oh, and one last thing, and then we'll move on. Karen is all in our show today. Hey, Karen, welcome. Karen said, I used to watch you all the time.
Wait. Karen used to watch me on Real Housewives in New Jersey, or you?
No, I believe you, because you two used to do.
Karen is actually from overseas. She's from, Karen, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're from the Netherlands, correct? Wait, I think if this is
the way you got excited.
Dots together. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Wait. No, she said it is her. Yeah, it's her. Yeah. So
Hi,
This is
Karen. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to text Richie Sky about you. Thank you so much for following us today.
yeah, and
That made
you
my whole day.
yeah, from Amsterdam. And you two used to do an incredible Real Housewives of New Jersey after show.
Yes.
And I do remember that era. So I wasn't on that panel, but wow, yeah,
Oh my God,
that's
I'm so excited. I could literally cry. Yes, from Amsterdam. I knew it. Like once it registered with me, I'm so excited, Karen.
yeah.
Thank you so much for being here with us. I really appreciate your loyalty and supporting
Oh,
my career. I really do. Like it's people like Karen who really make me feel good because it makes me happy to know that I'm making people smile.
yeah. And as we talked about earlier on the episode, it's not always easy to like when you're going through something frustrating and to like build that, big, warm, like, hey, how are you? It's a little challenging, but we do it because we enjoy it. And we do it because we love the housewives and we love pop culture and we love doing a show, in my opinion, that has all the range. Because again,
Yeah.
we're going to be critical when necessary. We're
Yeah.
going to be sweethearts when necessary.
Yeah.
We're going to even disagree when necessary. Like I feel like our show is very well rounded. And I mean that with all the things I do respectively on my own, and the same thing with Russell. And he was on the Peacock streaming platform for Create the Escape. So yay, yay, yay. I think that is awesome. Shall we
This
move
has
on?
made my whole day. I'm honestly so glad. Like, just to give everybody who's watching just a little bit of insight, I woke up this morning and my tonsils are so inflamed that they had to put me on antibiotics and a steroid to bring it down. And I was not feeling it today. But you know what? Like I told Ronnie, the show must go on. We must do it for everybody that supports us and follows us. So that is such a good feel good moment for me right now. And I'm so happy that I was able to pull it together to be here for you today.
Literal true story. No, literally, we had the conversation. I was even like, maybe we don't do it today. Because my thing is, I've been in this business for so long, and I know people hate hearing me say that over and over and over, but I've been that thirsty 21-year-old back in 2002, working 9 days a week, trying to get my dream to happen. And things change. You don't always succeed when you're supposed to, but I'm in it for the long haul. So I always tell everyone I collaborate with that I'm not going to burn out. No, none of this is worth it. Because what's better is taking the time to take a beat, getting your mental or your physical together, and then coming back and having fun. So I'm glad we associated that way. Geez, now we're giving all our business.
Yeah.
I think we need some shady moment. We need a shady moment real quick.
Oh,
Okay.
Karen says she's in San Diego now. I'm even happier because now we're on the West Coast. She's on the West Coast with us. So
Yeah.
thank you, Karen. I love you so much. I really appreciate
Yeah.
it. And look out next week when Ronnie and I start to do the Real Housewives of New Jersey because we're going to flip over to my channel.
Oh, yes,
and we're
yes,
gonna be doing
yes.
Real Housewives of New Jersey as we tail end of the Real Housewives of Miami.
Yeah, and we'll probably get maybe Richie Sky to jump in the mix too on
Yes.
occasion.
Oh my God,
So
love it.
yeah, we're gonna have fun. And I'm always team Melissa Gorga, but we'll talk about that after. Okay, shady moment. Are you ready for a shady moment? Shady moment, or do you want? Let me do the shady moment real quick.
Let's do shady moments.
So this is fun. Speaking of the love, and again, we're gonna get to episode 12. If you all notice, my background is Ball and Chain. I'm gonna talk about the time I've had lunch at Ball and Chain as well. But what I wanted to talk about real quick is, what did I want to talk about real quick? Oh, Karen had mentioned seeing you on AfterBuzz and that unity that we all had from doing programs before. Well, I got to get together with a couple of old AfterBuzzers yesterday. This is for Next Mood Swing, Jesse and Courtney and Daryl as well. And if you could see on the screen, obviously the emotions were big. There's a lot of shock and awe. The full episode is on youtube.com/next mood swing. We'll take that down for a moment, but I wanted to play what I stated, which I didn't think was really that shady, but apparently when Randomly talks, sometimes I let it go. Now, this is about, I don't even like to use her name. She was the one who could never compete with Kenya Moore. She was that Real Housewives of Atlanta housewife that was a bit boring, but she got a lot of airtime season 1 through 5. Anyways, Nene Leakes was talking real loud this week. And so Jesse and Courtney asked the question, what do I think about what she said about Robin and Giselle being like, not superstars or being, basic or whatever it was. And here is what I had to say.
Are they famous housewives or are they known housewives? What's your take?
Well, I didn't know Courtney was going first. But I guess Ronnie. I should say, I think
hit it, Ronnie.
I specifically Thank you. I specifically think they are famous. You know, I want to fault Nini's comments, but at the same time, you are in a radio room where you have to read the report or whatever. She put extras on it. Nini didn't need to do them like that. Nini, you're supposed to be above the show. You weren't even that good when you were on the show. I mean, she's been upstaged by Kenya Moore from the very moment that Kenya Moore started the show. So Nini has never been interesting to me, never, not once. I think in all the oh yeah, she's on, you know, there's top tier housewives. Nene has never been a top tier housewife. She doesn't know anything about that. So for her, but again, because I work in radio, I've worked in radio for years, I'm not going to fault that she had to do the report because the report was about Robin. So I won't fault that she had to put their names in her mouth. But no, they're superstars, both of them. I mean, people want to hate on Robin, but Robin presents one of the most authentic storylines because we all make mistakes. We all step in it. We all do things that we don't want to do. We're embarrassed, et cetera, et cetera. So I like Robin for that. Robin might not be a superstar, but I can't let it be known that Giselle Bryant is not a superstar. She is a superstar beyond Housewives. That's just what it is. And take it to the bank. That's what I think.
PM616 says, not on Nini's level. If Giselle and Robin were walking down the street, I doubt many people.
Okay. It goes and goes and goes. Before I say anything, big shout out because we are getting joined by Next Mood Swing, the YouTube channel. Hey guys, yes, mental health, of course. Yeah, that's like number one too. Russell, what do you think about what I said? Was I talking loud? Where does this come from? I'm such a sweet man. And then all of a sudden, when asked a question, I just let it rip. And that was like the nice part of it. I got worse.
You know what? When people deserve what they have coming to them, they really deserve. And also, speaking of Nene, I have an issue with her. Let's talk about her mug shot that she tried to downplay with Sheree. Okay, she called out Sheree's man, Sheree's son, and Sheree herself because she said Sheree was stealing from the store segment. Sheree was stealing from the store, remember? Okay, well, let's talk about Nene and her 4 mug shots because the first time she got arrested for doing little shady things, and then the next 3 times were for when she violated her probation. So Nene doesn't need to be talking very much. I'm gonna tell you all of that.
You see, that's what I'm saying. The getting choked on my words.
I will say,
the term I would say was that Nene Leakes, though she was a contribution, season 1 through 5, the show did not start till season 5 when the great Kenya Moore blessed the stage and the screen and gave the show cachet, all the fabulousness. So that's just what I think. It is what it is. But this was a really fun time, I do got to say. The folks at Next Mood Swing, of course, Jesse does such a wonderful job. Thank you, Jesse, for allowing me to jump on the show. Recently, that was a lot of fun. Courtney, Daryl, they're all fantastic. So,
fun fact: my very first, how can I say this? My very first interview that I seen from AfterBuzz, which was actually presented by Black Hollywood Live, was by Jesse with Kathy Griffin, and he probably knows exactly what I'm talking about, but it was a very iconic response to what Kathy had to say to him. We won't say it here because this is a safe space and we're trying to be as PG-13 as possible. But it was great. It was iconic. And I leaned into that level of being on the red carpet because I just wanted to be real. I wanted to be authentic. And I always think about that moment. Anytime I have an awkward situation when someone tells me something on a red carpet, I just think of his response. And it was classic. It was bold. And it was very fierce. So 2 snaps for you, Jesse.
Yeah, no, such a talent. And I think I mention this all the time, how and it wasn't like this. Like I said, I'm the old dusty 42-year-old who's been at this for a while. When I started, there was a competitive nature. You had to literally, your networking had to be better than the next person. Your skill set had to be better than the next person. But now things have changed. I don't love the digital YouTube space as much, but there are some benefits. And the one benefit that I say every time is there's room for us all. So please, please, please support youtube.com / Next Mood Swing. That is spelled with as one word. And there is a lot of concept of like pop culture, but mental health is also up in the mix too. So yes. Real quick,
take care of yourself mentally. If you can't handle Housewives because it's just doing too much for you, go to Create the Escape and watch a family fun show.
Oh, look at you. Now look at the promotion. You're gonna have to buy ad space. Oh yeah, you and Kiki. Oh, look at that. I'm telling you, our old episodes like are really, really exciting, which I will tell you. And I know you're like, on with it.
Get to the show.
I do what I want when I want. But I will tell you that you have to go look at our old episodes because look at all the fun stuff we have. We have an episode that says who deserves a mojito, basically of the part-timers who should go full-time. We've got that episode. We've got another episode. Which of the former Real Housewives of Miami cast members would you like to return to the show? That was inspired by Anna because the great Anna is talking loud, baby. Anna is out. She's out there. I love Anna. We've got another one about Lisa Hodgstein's complicated divorce. And the one that I love the most, we have Larsa Pippen is reality TV gold. So, yeah, check all that out. That's on youtube.com/randomlyRonnie Jr. And if you want to support Patreon, patreon.com/randomlyRonnie Jr. We got to start the show. Russell, what do you think? Take it away. Isn't it amazing?
Just reach out to russellraysilva@gmail.com and I will give you all the outlets where you can pay me. I do want to stay home and just create content for every single one of you. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do the things that I've been doing lately. I want to conquer the world.
All right. Your New York trip last week must have went real good. Talk about it.
Because New Yorkers get main character energy.
Yeah, for sure.
So I got a little bit of that, and I hope to end up there. So that's what we're giving.
Come on, manifestation.
I'm giving main character best coast energy. What else can you get?
Can I tell you that I was really excited to see this episode because it kind of reflected me back to one of my dear friends, Vanessa, who's gorgeous and should be not on Housewives because it's a messy show, but like just absolutely beautiful. She actually took me around, one of these times I was out there and didn't give me like just the Miami experience. And that's the reason I have the background as such. She actually took me to Ball and Chain, which is right by Celia Cruz's ice cream shop by Domino Park. And we had such a fun time in Miami specifically. We were in Fort Lauderdale a little bit too. And just such a good energy in the Little Havana area. And so I just thought it was a really cool thing that, obviously we see these big scenes where they go to these really fancy locations, but this was a little cuter and funner to watch. And yes, I've literally been in that restaurant. So now I didn't yell at Todd and I didn't yell at Anthony, but they got to the yelling. What'd you think of all that?
You know what? I have trouble saying that I 100% agree with the husbands getting involved in the housewives conversations, but I will say what Anthony was really trying to do, and Todd missed this by a milestone. I mean, he misses by a long shot. So what Anthony was trying to do was just end the confrontation at the table because they just wanted to have a fun, lighthearted luncheon or dinner because it was supposed to be fun. It was supposed to be kind of like, just a fun play on what was going on with our husbands. And plus, like, we don't see the interaction very often. And so that would have been nice. And so what Anthony was really trying to do was just shut down the drama. And then Todd, of course, took it to the next level. And of course, we love Anthony because our baby Anthony doesn't fight back unless he's provoked. And he had to do what he had to do to protect his wife. Mm-hmm. And that's that on that.
Can we take a look at what I used to feel about Anthony? I mean, I'm not saying it changed, but these last couple episodes with Nicole, because early on it was a different thing. Let's just take a look at this clip, and I got to gather my thoughts. Come on, Anthony.
Get it in with Anthony. I'm gonna get it in. You're gonna get it in right here.
Let's go on a flight together, Anthony. Let's go.
Mile High Club, here you come.
So I mean, I do want your opinion too, but my thoughts are like,
if you had to choose between Larsa and a relationship with Anthony Lopez for the rest of your life, which one would you choose?
Wait, but what do I get out of Larsa?
Just the friendship?
like friendship?
Yeah.
I would say Anthony only because I feel like Larsa already likes me a lot. I've heard word that she likes our show.
Mm-hmm. Let the viewers see that this is the one time where you've abandoned Larsa.
No. I didn't abandon it. I said she already likes
leaving me. Larsa for the D.
Wow. Wouldn't be the first. Oh boy, what a messy show. No,
you see this, America? You see this, and everybody else in all the other 138 countries of the world. Ronnie has officially left Larsa for Anthony Lopez.
I think he's a liar. You're lying right now. You're telling people lies.
That's a lie. Ding, 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 ding. Lie. Ding, 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 ding. It's a lie. It's a lie.
Oh, he's turning red. He's turning red. Well, how else are you feeling about this, Ronnie? Let's see what we can really get out of you here.
No, I would enjoy a night or two with Dr. Anthony, or Dr. Anthony, whatever his name is. Whatever his name is. Okay, so let's just get down to it though.
Okay.
For real. Oh my gosh. First of all,
I literally was dying in my seat. Literally laughed the same way, like from the gut, leaning back and forth, just like I did in that clip. Like, I wish everyone could have seen how I was laughing right now.
I love the way Wendy Williams used to always laugh at herself, be like, this messy show. I feel the same. I'm gonna get to some comments, but I just wanted to reflect that there was a moment that I really was feeling Anthony. I don't always love him anymore, but let's see what the comments say, and then we'll talk a little bit more here. We have Karen who said, Alexia made me extra crazy this episode. She can't take any accountability, which is kind of what we expect and know and love about her, to be honest. She wants people to apologize, but she herself can't. It's embarrassing. You know, Karen, I love that, but I don't know that it's embarrassing for her. Like, one thing we got to say about Alexia, she stands in her truth. Like, what she feels, good or bad, she kind of always is authentic to that. Does that kind of add? Next mood swing. Anthony needs to stop making comments about the wives because the second episode. Oh, okay, because Anthony did talk a little loud the one time Lisa was late.
And he said,
I was okay.
Big butt.
Well, the big butt was really.
That's what they're referring to.
Okay.
I think that's what Jesse's referring to is Larsa's big butt.
That one was like, come on, man. I told you before, Russell, I was okay with him making the joke, like, and I think even Larsa would be okay with it because it's like she has to take herself a little like with a grain of salt too, because people are always in her business or whatever. When he made mention of, oh, we can't invite Larsa to this event because, you know, she might end up with one of the married guys or whatever. Like, even that's like humorous. It's funny. But yeah, when he starts getting into the big butt thing, it's a fine line between defending your wife and just kind of getting in women's business, I guess. I really didn't have that big of a deal with either of them, with Todd or with with Anthony. It was kind of uneventful. It felt like it was supposed to be more eventful, and I will tell you why.
I don't think. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You.
Okay. Bravo.
You.
Bravo, Peacock. Listen to me. Listen to Ronnie. Listen to RandomlyRJr.com. I don't need a flash forward. I don't. We're watching the show. And what you end up doing is giving me a lackluster moment. You know what I mean? Because it was like you saw that scene first. And then it was like one day earlier. But then when we got to the scene, it wasn't that big of a thing. The guys didn't really get in each other's business that much. They actually both did behave. Well, I'm not going to say the word behave, but they did. They were very respectable of the situation. No one got loud. There was no drink throwing, which I don't like seeing in the trailer with Adriana, but we'll get to that. And you make us as a viewer kind of get, we're teased that it's going to be something big, and it really wasn't anything big. I didn't love the Gertie saying, oh, Russell doesn't get into these conversations or whatever. Well, as a human, you're going to get in these conversations. Yeah. Like, come on, dudes, like, let's chill. So it really was lackluster, in my opinion. So I don't have big negative energy towards like any of them. I don't think they were in women's business. Do you, Russell?
I think Anthony was trying to just end the situation, but because Alexia Teresa Giudice pushes so hard when it comes to her points.
Alexia who?
Alexia Teresa Giudice.
Yeah.
Because she pushes her own point so hard, it becomes annoying. And last thing you want to see is your wife sitting there being antagonized by someone who's supposed to be a friend. And it's very disturbing. And at that point, let your own spouse lean into the conversation and be like, you know what, this really isn't the time and place to have this conversation. Why don't you two ladies have this conversation on your own? That's what Todd should have done. Tom should have done. Tom, did I get this right?
It's Todd. Yeah.
Todd. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Who would just navigate my feelings at the same time? But
who would you go to bed with? Look at me getting to the facts, the fine points. Who would you go to bed with first, Todd or Anthony? That's the question.
Anthony. Hands down.
Still Anthony. Oh, okay.
Hands down. Let me tell you why.
Just asking. I'm just asking.
Todd, no. Now you're going to get an explanation because Todd has little man syndrome. and he likes to bark like a dog, but you know, like the little chihuahuas when they come at your ankles, but there's nothing to be said or done about it.
Wow.
There's nothing that entices me with Todd at all.
Okay.
Anthony at least gives off a sweet, genuine vibe. He has a lot going for him. I know they try to belittle this in the situation that he's a lawyer and he's one of 3 lawyers. Like, no, he's a lawyer with 137 employees underneath him. He also has a pilot's license. He also has a plane. So, and he's very humble and subtle about it. He doesn't bring up what he has in his materialistics. He doesn't.
Yeah.
But, you know, there are those moments where you can gloat about what you have, and they do like big lavish parties, and that's what they threw for their engagement party. And I think that is okay. What I think where Todd steered wrong was he should have interjected and said, hey, we're here to have a good time. You invited all of us. Please don't waste our time by you guys having this type of situation at a luncheon when we're all trying to enjoy each other's companies. You two can speak on this at another day, but this is not the time or place. We're all trying to enjoy each other's company. I don't get to see Anthony very often. I don't get to see Russell very often. So I want to be here and do those things.
Yeah.
And of course it wouldn't have made good television. But Todd and Anthony are also not giving Joe Gorga and Joe Giudice. So there's nothing explosive that's doing anything for the show. It's not adding any elements to the show.
What do we think of Marisol's husband, not husband?
Huh?
I only say that because, and of course, we never get in people's business in terms of what's the real get down. But we mentioned last week that on David Yontef's Behind the Velvet Rope podcast that Anna had said, well, there's a lot of insinuation that Marisol grabbed somebody real quick, and you know he was a man who happens to love men, and I can't unsee it now. not clocking nobody in terms.
Wait, did you see the look on my face that it just all sank in? Marisol's husband is bisexual?
This is this is not where we would ever go typically. However, Anna.
Ronnie said that.
Oh, goodness. I'm going to put you on the close up.
Ronnie said that Marisol's husband.
I didn't say nothing. But I'm just telling you, I can't unsee it now. Between the married, not married situation and between his demeanor, I'm like, he's there for the hey girl. Because remember, I said a second ago, I said Russell didn't step in, but I'm also like, why did that guy not step in? I don't remember his name, Marisol's husband, not husband. But nonetheless, I can't unsee it. But damn it, Anna said it because she was talking loud in a good way.
Look, here's the thing. Okay. If Marisol's husband really is bisexual, I 100% support this, just because we're in such a progressive state right now when it comes to society. This isn't like when you and I grew up. This isn't like when I grew up, or like when our parents grew up, where being gay or bisexual was even acceptable. It somewhat became acceptable as I was entering high school, but you couldn't be an athlete, and you had to stay in the closet, and you couldn't come out until later on in your years in college, because where I grew up, they were going to harass you for it unless you were a completely feminine queen gay, because then at that point it's like, oh, that's just who he is. But you couldn't be any other type of gay or bisexual because it was unacceptable. So if this is actually the truth, I do appreciate it when it comes to Marisol, because it's showing that our society is becoming more accepting of people's identity, and they don't have to hide themselves of who they are.
And I'm being serious completely, that I was not trying to like
No. I was more like you were trying to be shady whatsoever. I just thought it was a great opportunity to lean into what society is turning into. And there's a lot of things that I differentiate when it comes to Gen Z. But what I do like about Gen Z, oh my God, look at me sounding like a baby boomer. What I do like about Gen Z is that they do really accept you for who you are as a person and your characteristics and your character versus what they try to press on you to be. Like when you and I grew up, right?
And I mean, like I said, it was a good podcast, insinuation. David Yontef of Behind the Velvet Rope. It was Anna and her daughter because they have a show together, Mommy Issues, I think it's called. And it had come out, and I'm just like now looking at the show a little differently. I'm not trying to proclaim anything. I'm just more like, you know, it might be some truth to it. You know what I mean? In a good way, because again, we wear the badge with all the honor. I mean, you know, we are the elites.
I don't have. Wait, do I have it? I don't have it. My fan from Pride last year.
Well, this is what's funny. Oh, right. Oh my God. Yes. Long Beach Pride. Did we not have a blast? We sure did.
We had a blast.
Yes.
With our Canadian friend, Adam, Ronnie down the street. It was great.
Real quickly though. So this is what Karen is saying. She's saying, I heard she married him to have a storyline. So further context, further clarity, because again, I'm not going to be the person who's like putting it out there. This was on a podcast. This was Anna's kind of like, it was more her saying that Marisol is so thirsty that when it was the information being brought to everybody that the show's coming back, she was like, "Ooh, look at me single," and so she found somebody, and I don't even know this man's name. Like, what is his name? We don't know his name. I mean, she's mentioned it before, but we don't know his name. You know, so I'm just saying, could there be some truth to what Anna said? I gotta move on because I don't like this, but I just, you know, truths are truths, and you know, yeah.
Marisol storyline are cockies. Okay.
And so are his apparently. No, stop it. Stop it. Oh goodness. I agree with next mood swing, Jesse, because like she, and I hate to use these words, but Marisol is playing her position. And I'm not meaning in a like play your position, but she's saying, I am a part-timer. I'm gonna while you laugh, I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna light it up. I'm gonna, you know, being a part-timer almost feels like a better position if you ask me, because you get that check, you're associated with the show, but you can branch off all your different businesses and whatever you want to do within the visibility that the show and the platform gives you. I honestly, you know, if Bravo ever came to me or one of the shows ever came to me, a part-time role totally feels like a vibe. So she's in a good space, but we did ask the question, like I said, on our previous episodes, which of the part-timers do you want to see as a full-timer, Adriana, Kiki, or Marisol? I'm leaning towards Kiki.
Right now, Kiki is my front runner.
Yeah.
So what's my front runner because she has the time, she has the personality, and she has the storyline to go with it.
Oh my gosh. Just when I thought we were going to move away from the shading.
Oh no.
You know which one I'm talking about?
Yes.
So what position she played with her man? Oh. Okay, we got to stop.
There's nothing wrong with sexuality. There's nothing
That's
wrong.
what we're saying, yeah.
And so I do agree. I really appreciate that all of us are having this honest conversation at this time because, you know, it's
got us feeling all the shock and awe. Wait. Yes, no, but it's a serious note. Russell, you being so much younger than me, it's always so interesting because like you're talking about your high school experience. I'm looking at mine, and I've said this before on some of my shows or whatever the case. I could only really remember 3 guys in the entire school that were open. That's it. 3. You see, I mean, that's like an incredible situation. And you know, shout out to them for all being so fierce and just like, you know, taking it with a grain of salt at that time. That was class of 98. It was when I went to high school. So I was just saying it as a bit of a conversation. So there was no diss here at all.
I don't think you were dissing anybody. I just think it's when we have opportunities to have these conversations, I think it's great to highlight it because not enough people are talking about this. Not enough people, because again, as you and I know this, you're very much influenced in the gay community. If you're bisexual, like you're not bisexual, like you're gay. And it's like, well, not really, you know? And I think it's okay if you're 2% bisexual, if you're 90% bisexual, as long as you're okay with who you are, everyone else just needs to accept you. And I've said this before and I've said it again. Just accept people for who they are. And mind your business. Mind your business when it comes to certain things. Unless you're a public figure, then don't mind your business. But when people stop me up for my gallon water bottle, talking about that's a whole lot of water. Like, you think I hear that enough every day? Like, back up. Okay. So there's things like that. Like, mind your business. Don't yell out the F word. Don't yell out the H word. Don't yell out these things or judge these people for these things because no one's judging you for being straight and having one spouse for your whole entire life because you're a holy roller.
Oh, sounds so stale. Um,
Sounds so.
again, we
It's
are
giving
the elite.
saltine.
I'm sorry about it. We are the elite. I don't know what to tell you. No, but
It's
listen, for
giving
real, for real,
saltine.
for
It's
real.
giving crest. It's giving crest.
Yeah.
A
Oh
lot of just
gosh. Oh god.
plain
Ooh.
nothing
Did you
going
see
on.
Cheyenne? Did you see Cheyenne? He did a like a kind of a pushback to that. He said, "Oh, he went to Instagram." Cheyenne, the actor, he went
Mhm.
to Xanadu and all that. He went to and Call Me Cat. I love Call Me Cat. I'm such a sitcom fan. He went to Instagram and was like, "Oh, our kids just came out. They're straight." It was so funny. It was so sarcastic, but sometimes it needs to be kind of put out there because it's such the other side. But again, we are the elites, and that's what it is.
Yes.
I want to tell you one thing for all the other shit talkers. If you looked at the clip that we played earlier and you said, "Oh, Ronnie's so dusty with his blue hat in both shots." Well, listen, I only work with what I can. And if you want to talk all that mess, you should make it rain on my Patreon, okay? Patreon.com/randomlyRonnie Jr. And also go to the websites russellraysilva.com and randomlyronniejr.com. So before you run your mouth, go and make it rain on my Patreon. Thank you. Okay. Last comment about all that, because New Jersey is coming up real quick, and then we'll get back to the
Yes.
episode. New Jersey is coming up really, really quick, and I wanted to shout out. One second, I gotta find it. Here we go. Okay, I can't find it. So Russell, take it away. Oh yes, real quick. New Jersey is coming up, and the Bravo Bottoms, we go, come on. The Bravo Bottoms are an Instagram account, and they have a podcast. They're so funny. They're going to join our show at some point as well.
Yes.
Yeah, and we show so much love to them, and they show so much love back. So I just wanted to say, because New Jersey is coming up, they are going to be doing like an event for the Jersey premiere. And their hot takes are really, really funny. So we show them so much love. And so I was like, this is a perfect time to say, go to the Instagram account, the Bravo Bottoms, and you can see where their event's at and support their podcast, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, damn, I'm so nice today. I'm so like kind and like
Good.
treating
I'm
everyone
rubbing
with
off on
respect.
you. You're
Yeah.
welcome.
I mean, I guess I mean, not if it's a Nene Leaks conversation, but anyways, take it away. Where are we at next?
So I want to touch on now is how Alexia and Frankie went to their meeting, and Frankie is going to start branching out on his own. They're looking for him with the Demoya Foundation. They're looking for a job that he can secure and something that he likes. And they also want to boost his confidence in being able to take an Uber by himself. But he did mention he is scared. It gets him nervous, which I think rightfully so. It's a scary world in the sense of, you already experienced if people have been kind to you or considerate to you at this stage in your life after your traumatic event, right? So are people actually going out of their way because they see that I might look confused in a situation? Or are they ignoring me or passing me off because they're annoyed of me as an individual? So I think Frankie, I think him being scared and nervous is okay. And I've been told in my life before, if you're doing something and it doesn't scare the pants off of you, then you're not doing life right. You're being too comfortable. So I really do appreciate the Demoya Foundation for doing that for Frankie. And I really hope that this builds a new sense of confidence for him so that he can go ahead and secure a job and just enjoy working, especially if it's something that he loves. I think that's what everyone's passion of what they're trying to pursue in this life is, really trying to find what speaks to them and really enjoying what they do on a daily, instead of working the typical 9 to 5 that you can't stand. I think it was a cute feel good moment. Not Frankie. I was gonna call you Frankie. Ronnie, what did you think about it?
Yes, not Frankie. My name is Ronnie, but I did love it. I'm one of the few people, I think one of the few, that really actually enjoys when we have these stop down moments. You know what I mean? A lot of people who watch Housewives or reality need a lot of the drama. And I always feel like in order to make good reality TV, you need to have peaks and valleys. Like there's no reason you could get that hype if there's not a reason to get that hype. So I always find these personal stories very valuable. And another thing, especially with Alexia, because I know Alexia gets a lot of critique for being it's kind of, and I don't want to flash forward, but let's just say her accountability levels are not really appreciated. She can judge, but she can't always be accountable. And hey, sometimes you get lost in defending yourself, but it's like, what are you defending? But that's a different topic. But Where I feel there was some great vulnerability is her kind of assessing and checking herself and saying, I mean, Frankie would have had a very difficult situation, you know, what happened with the situation, but she kind of put a little bit of herself in there too. Like she stated, I, across the board, regardless, was always an overprotective mother. And I think it really opened up a little bit more of why, because season 1, Alexia, I loved. And season 2, she was kind of not in it as much because of what happened.
Yeah.
And season 3, she was back in it. The early Alexia was a lot of fun and all over the place in the best way possible. And I really like to see that because, again, when she goes toe to toe with the girls, she really, and maybe I relate to this, some people we just like have to defend, and it's like, take a beat. Like, we don't always have to defend everything, you know? And I think that's a problem she has. So it was refreshing to see her saying, you know, and I don't know what was the calculation as to why, like what made her think that she is overprotective. Was that, you know, something in her upbringing, something within her mother, you know, her parents or whatever to her? Was it something with the men she dated? You know, you mentioned last week, which I thought was so brilliant, that she got in Adriana's Terry's face, like, oh, well, you know how men are. And there's a little bit of an sometimes you affirm and you manifest that all men are dogs.
Very much.
So this was a small step in where I'd love to see Alexia go. I would love Alexia to see this show and stand 10 toes down on everything she did, but maybe say, dang, I really am always battling back. I'm never giving a room and information within my own peace of mind to say, maybe Nicole's right. Which I don't know about that, but maybe Adriana's right. I don't know about that either. But
I don't know about that one either.
She's not really doing it this season, and I think this is what the fans would want from the show. So it was a good moment. Yeah. Sorry I went all over the place because I
think so too.
I like Alexia, and I hate the narrative that she's, you know, there's a good quality in Alexia. If you remember season 1 and watched it in real time, she was fantastic, and I stick by that. Yeah.
Well, Alexia, I just need her to be less of a right fighter, and I really need her to accept some accountability when it comes to the things that she says and the people that she hurts. But I do think genuinely she's a good person. I think she's been through some tough times, and sometimes when you go through tough times, you actually have anger and resentment build up in you, and then you might not portray it or express it entirely the way that you mean it to. So little things might blow up bigger than what they actually are, because, you know, you really want to bring the point across of that there's bigger issues in the world, but not all of us are raised with these soft skills where you can explain that efficiently. But I think Alexia really should pull back a little bit and really listen to what everyone around her is telling her. But it also doesn't help when Marisol or Larsa is in her corner and be like, listen to what she says. And it's like, well, Alexia isn't really correct in what she's saying. So you need to take ownership and call your friends out where calling them out is due. I think so. I think that's what's part of being a good friend, is letting your friends know when they're in the wrong, and then you need to acknowledge when they're wrong.
The franchise is balanced. I totally agree with that. And I also do agree that old Alexia, there was something different, but I don't know that I would assess it with ego. To me, it's really a defense mechanism that she keeps throwing up there.
Yeah.
It could be ego, and I know that, you know, it's funny because Nicole wanted to throw what was it, self-involved or narcissistic? Oh, well, she said she's a star. I mean, I don't know if that's ego. That's just fun chatter amongst the you know, in the car ride or whatever. I think it's more of she's just really tight, and I want her to be a little more free. I'll go with that. I don't want people to hate on Alexia, and you know, with this damn show, people hate. They choose it's like very dominant. It's like,
choose the villain.
Yeah, we love Nicole. We don't love Alexia. I'm like, there was a really great, and I should have printed it or, you know, found it. Something along the lines of it was in regards of Larsa and Nicole, and it was like, why can't we celebrate both queens? And I'm like, even though Larsa is my queen, it's like, yeah, why are we making it why are we making it so divided? It's just, you know, I just,
because there's only room for one crown.
Oh, in terms of them? Well,
it's time to sing for your life.
Well, there's your superstar, baby.
And don't it up.
Do you know why I think Nicole's really mad at Larsa?
Tell me.
amongst her being a fan,
Tell me.
you know, that's what it is. She's a fan of Larsa's. I say it every episode, but I think it's also because Nicole's a little bit mad that she put in, you know, she put in the work. She went to medical school. She's also a pretty girl, et cetera, et cetera. But Larsa, in her mind, is redeeming all of this amazingness. Larsa, you know, pushes the needle. She's Miami, you know, all the things. And I think it was this week, like, so effortlessly. And I think this makes Nicole so mad deep down.
Yeah.
And you know, Nicole or her team are watching everything that Larsa's doing. I mean, they can't get enough of the girl. And so I was looking at I was looking at the Instagram this week and I was like, oh, Larsa was with Marcus. They were at Live and Drake was performing and like Larsa's very in the mix. And I think Nicole gets really, really frustrated situationally. This is not like a thing where she doesn't really hate on Larsa, but she finds things to get mad about her because Larsa's living. And it's like, Nicole's like, damn it. Why am I not clocked in like that? And it's like, I don't know. Like Larsa's just that chick, you know, like, eat it up.
Give it time, and Nicole is going to be the Melissa Gorga of Miami. And she is going to be the one, and she's going to be the queen. She's going to be on display.
I need a break. No, Nicole is all right.
No,
but
Nicole is going to get there.
No.
You trust and believe.
Okay, next topic. We're moving on.
Believe.
No.
Nicole is going to be there. She's going to be serving face, body, realness.
No.
Professionalism. Even if she does throw down her black Amex card.
We need to move on. We need to move on. Oh, not Karen telling me I'm wrong. Karen, goodbye. No, I'm joking.
Sorry. Karen is my corner and she has my back until death do us part. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, let's move on because Ronnie is having a moment.
I'm getting stubborn.
Ronnie,
you know, I love Melissa Gorga so much, and when you put Nicole and Melissa Gorga in the same boat,
but Melissa Gorga wasn't always Melissa Gorga. She was only Melissa Gorga when Teresa had a challenger, and then she grew into Melissa Gorga.
I should mute your
Melissa
microphone.
was just Teresa Giudice's brother's wife when she first came onto the show, and now she's Melissa Gorga, which we love.
The disrespect we are getting from RussellRaySilva.com today is on another level.
You're welcome.
This damn show. Okay, move on. Let's go.
Okay. I want to talk about finally Lisa letting her hair down after she had a whole, she had her whole spiel at the strip club.
The people are saying Nicole is a snooze fest.
Who are the people? First of all,
bring them to House Hunters. You know who I used to say that about?
Who?
But I think she earned her space now, even though she hates who I love. I used to say, I think I said it to her face, which was kind of shady in an interview. One time, Candace from Potomac it was her first season and we were interviewing her and I said something like, I think you guys are just a better fit for like TLC network. But this was before TLC was really popping. And by the way, I did a TLC episode, so no diss to TLC, but it was a little bit of a like, you two really don't fit on this show. So I thought that was funny. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Look, we're moving on. And speaking of who should be full-time cast member next season, can we just talk about Kiki's moment and her balance on the stripper pole? I was living. She was over it. She doesn't want to hear any more about Lisa's divorce. Not that she doesn't support her, but she was just over hearing a thank you. She was like, what? I'm done. She was like, oh my God, just done with it.
Yeah. So, it's like enough, Lisa. Yeah, I thought it was cute. The whole scene was cute. The whole scene was cute. And I don't have a real big judgment over Lisa going on and on about Lenny because again, it is still so new and fresh. I just think it was nice that Larsa and Kiki were there for her. You know, obviously it's going to take a lot of steps for her to want to be with an entrepreneur.
It was very Miami to go to a strip club This is very Miami to go to a strip club to try and get your friend to get over her ex. But we did reach the 1 month mark, though. So now it's been 1 month since Lenny exposed himself with his own relationship that he had on the side. Or since Lenny spoke on a hot mic, it's been 1 month.
Right.
Look, because let's call a spade a spade. He didn't confess to anything until I think he realized he was on a hot mic and he had to come forward with what was going on in his life. So I think the 1 month mark, Lisa's doing okay. I think at this point, let's put it to bed and let's talk to a shrink about it. And let's not talk to your friends anymore about it because you are living your life. As we saw in the reunion looks that were released this week, she is stepping into mourning the loss of her marriage, but stepping into new glamour. She's giving Morticia Wednesday Addams, and everybody knew Morticia was the queen. Okay.
Yeah,
And
this
so
was a
Morticia
sign.
Mariah.
You're right. This was Mariah, but this was also a mourning of Lisa. And, I thought it was endearing, too, the way she was like, it was like for 15 years, I've been here in Miami, but I've never, got to be single. So it is an exciting time. I mean, in some regards, this is going to be Nicole. Oof.
Nicole's
this is going to be
moment, baby.
you really did you hit your head?
No.
It's gonna be Lisa's. We look at Lisa as having a great season this season. I feel like next season she might even have a better one. Because rebounding from the situation at hand. One comment I thought
she's young, she's gorgeous, she's personable, she's spunky.
Mm-hmm.
She's a single mother who has it all under control. She's really a boss woman.
Mm-hmm.
So she's going to do fine. She's going to do great. She's going to look at this chapter in her life and think about, what was I thinking? And it's just not going to be that anymore.
Yeah, but that adjustment, and I think we're seeing it in real time. And I think that's why the show feels authentic, because it feels very real. You know what I mean? Like, it's always nice that all the girls got behind her and we're like, oh, F him, you're going to bounce back. And it's like, you don't want to hear that day one. That's gonna take some time. That's why I was not stressed that she was at the venue that they were at, and she was going on and on. It takes some moments. So there's nothing wrong with that. But to the question of who should be who deserves a mojito, I think this is actually very valuable. We must bring it up. Kiki would be a star if they made her a full-time, and that Burger King boat moment was iconic. I know she upstaged Adriana. She just did. Baby,
if I could eat Burger King and look that good, I would be eating Burger King every day.
It was Kiki is one to watch. We all like her. And again, I was watching Jason Carter had an interview because he does that show in South Florida. So he's interviewed all the girls. And Kiki was up. And there's just so much more we want to know. For one, we didn't know if she was single. We're learning that she's single. She has, I think, one son, maybe, but not more importantly, but she was on her own at a very young age. So there's so much more we want to eat up, like the Burger King from Kiki.
I love it. That was a great connection, Ronnie.
Yeah, I do what I can. Where do we gotta go?
Final showdown and the final moment.
Okay. Oh, Nicole and Alexia.
Nicole and Alexia. They had the sit down. Again, Alexia not taking charge of it, or not taking accountability for anything that she caused. She caused this. You try to corner somebody. Nicole stood up for herself. You didn't like it. Then, the girls in your corner are saying she's paying for his time. So then she pulled out her money and said, I could pay for his time too, which I completely agree with. And that's okay. And they're calling her unprofessional for it. No, it's not unprofessional. And she did that. She was backed into a corner and she decided to defend herself. Oh, you're paying for his time. I can pay for his time too. Because if I'm going to waste it, it'll be on my dime. And I'm not worried about it because I have enough of it to go around.
Oof, the millennial, and you just jumped out.
Well,
I don't know about all that, what you said, but hold on. Let me tell you what I think. First,
it's okay.
I know. Real quick. Let me see. This is actually interesting. I want a hot young girls trip with Larsa, Lisa, Adriana, and Melissa. Yeah, I mean the pretty girls. Kenya could join. No, for sure.
Kenya's young. Gorgeous.
Why do you have to do this?
but that's the thing. Let's stick to the script.
Oh
right?
Gosh.
He said a young, hot girls trip.
Okay.
Kenya is not that.
Oh, okay.
Not that she's not gorgeous, not that she's not beautiful, not that.
Yeah.
But she's just at a different stage of life.
Yeah.
She's in her 50s.
Definitely no. I agree. Okay, so listen. Here's the only thing that was interesting about your proclamation there.
The only thing.
And it actually, you mentioned something last week, and I failed to sort of grab it. And it's nothing wrong. These are just opinions, but Russell's opinion is always so fantastic. You come up with the most amazing points. This one, however, feels interesting to me because this one feels interesting to me because you had stated something along the lines of like, you're not going to tell me, meaning Dr. Nicole, like, I'm not going to be disrespected in your house. Another perspective would be like, why don't you mind your manners in somebody else's home? You know what I mean? Like, I get, like, to me, it feels like Nicole is doing everything she can to sort of become like, you know, it's like throwing out bait a little bit to be like the one who, oh gosh, they were treating me this way. I had to like stand up for something. You can't come into my home and like tell me I'm being like, I don't, okay, I'll just say it this way. This is better. I don't feel like they were disrespecting her. And I remember last week it was a mention of like, oh, because and I like your viewpoint. You're like, if I'm Dr. Nicole, Alexia, you're not going to disrespect me. But also, like, you're making a moment in someone else's home. It's not your home. Why do you think you get the red carpet, Nicole? Like, that's what I don't understand. But if you could educate me on your side of it, I could totally see it. But you know what I mean? Like, why doesn't she sit back and be like you, why does Nicole feel like she has to be in a sort of dominant position when she's not even in her home? Like, would she want one of the other girls to do that in her home? It's kind of an interesting question.
Here's my thing. I would never invite somebody into my home and give innuendos or insinuations when I'm asking questions in order to make them feel comfortable or make them feel like it's aimed at them. And I think that's exactly what happened when it came to Alexia and her asking questions and the girls on her side of the couch asking questions to the lawyer. It was very indirectly directed at Nicole and her situation. And all Nicole did was match that energy. If you come at me with certain energy, I'm going to match you. If you don't like it, clearly you don't like a reflection of yourself. And I think when you're dealing with situations, it's very important to mirror the way someone is acting, because if they don't like it, clearly they don't like what they're doing themselves. It doesn't necessarily reflect who you are as an individual, but if you're just matching somebody's energy, that's on them. Whether it's in your house, in someone else's house, at a restaurant, in my own house, what's fair is fair. And I think it was fair. They were taking shots, indirect shots. So Nicole took an indirect shot. And then you're going to try to throw it in Nicole's face that she's not paying for this man's time. So Nicole graciously floated over to the lawyer and handed her black card and said, I will pay for your time. And I don't think there's
maybe if I saw that.
But like I said, I would never invite you personally, Ronnie. I would never invite you to my house if there was an issue, and I would never invite an outside source to give us all these great insights to life and to law, and then indirectly take shots at you, expecting you not to come back at me and just to take a seat and like to sit back, because I don't think it's fair to attack anybody in your own home, because that it's a catch-22, because they're supposed to act a certain way when they're in your home, but they're also not supposed to stick up for themselves. So what did you like? And this isn't directed at you, but like, what did they want her to do? She had no other choice, but she got tired of it, and she gave them a taste of what they were serving.
In fairness, I'll rewatch the scene. It was actually not my favorite scene, but I'll rewatch it to see if I could find a perspective where I'm feeling like Nicole was being disrespected. And I struggle to find that moment. Yeah, that I like, I don't know. And then the credit card thing was, it wasn't a quintessential like, ooh, Housewives moment to me. Did you felt like, does this go up there in like one of those big moments?
No, I don't think it was a moment. I just think when it came down to the situation, she was just playing into what they were playing into. And it was, this is my house. I'm paying for this person's time. And she's like, well, it's your house and I can pay for this time as well.
Doesn't that sound snotty though a little bit?
But all she was doing was matching their energy. That's how I seen it. All she was doing was matching their energy, because if you're going to come at me sideways, I'm going to come at you sideways.
So you think they were coming? You think they were coming at her sideways?
I do think that they were coming at her sideways.
Oh, and then I'm gonna have to rewatch. Yeah.
And when Marisol jumped in on the situation and tried to correct Nicole, now you have 3 against 1.
No, I'll rewatch. I thought it was Adriana, who's been getting bodied this whole last 2 seasons. She joined right up with Nicole. Julia joined right up with Nicole. So I don't really feel that's a narrative. I don't necessarily feel it does seem easy to say that, but I feel like I mean, and we've heard there's going to be a big divide, of course, even from the reunion. So I don't know.
Here's the thing, right? They say take the high road and move forward. So Nicole very much could have made a point to stay, you're indirectly taking shots at me, and I'm not going to sit here for that. So clearly that's what the situation was supposed to be about, but I'm not going to give that for you. I'm not going to give that to you. So I'm just going to make my way out of your house. You guys have a wonderful time, and I'm going to go enjoy my time with my husband and my child. So she could have very well done that.
Yeah.
But again, I'm an Aquarius. I'm petty. I love to match energy. You're going to come at me crazy. I'm going to come at you crazy. We can start loud if you start up here, but then we're going to casually bring it down, and I'm going to control the conversation, and I'm going to bring you down to the level that I need you to be
Russell
at.
said she's not the one. She is not the one.
I'm not the one. Okay. I'm going to match we are matching energy. It is Aquarius season, baby.
The number one,
couple weeks of it.
The number one thing I don't like though is the passive, communication, and I don't know. Again, I'm going to go back and watch the scene, the credit card incident. Because Nicole's so rich. Yay, you're so rich. Yay, we're so impressed. Yay.
Look, when she drops money in your Patreon, I'm gonna have you send it back.
We're not. No. This is a service. Are you? What? It's a service to get my Patreon. And if Nicole drops money, it's a service. She redeems the service. Don't do that. No. No, but listen, okay. I will say I totally agree with one thing that you said for sure, which is and this is, I gotta say, I think Alexia's challenged by Nicole, because while Nicole might not be where I would like her to go in these last couple of episodes, I feel Alexia is very overwhelmed with dang, I can't really out-talk her. Yeah. She is really smart. She's quick. And I think that really bugs her, because what I didn't like, going back to the at Ball and Chain in Little Havana, I didn't love, especially Alexia, who's such an honest person and she's blunt with everything. Mm-hmm. She kind of snuck in that comment. Well, yeah. And it was last week when you did this, and it was just you could have controlled the conversation, because Alexia is always talking in a good way. And you could have said, Nicole, I'm glad we're here. The husbands, boom and boom. But this is something I do want to talk to you about, because I felt really weird about the way my friend, had to receive that from you. I know I played a part in it, but this is where I'm a little bit upset with you about it. She did it so indirect that Nicole was able to play this. I don't think Nicole was this silly and, oh my gosh, but she did. And I just feel like that could have went differently if Alexia would have been a little more.
But that's the thing. I don't think Nicole disrespected the lawyer's time. I don't think she disrespected the lawyer at all.
You think? But do you think?
Equally, so it would have been disrespectful for when Larsa brought up that Alexia was paying for his time. That's equally disrespectful, because you're talking about finances, right? And that's frowned upon in a lot of conversations, right? That's what corporations try to get us all not to talk about, is our finances, because they don't want to pay us to match the other person, right, with the same experience. So there's that. But it's equally as disrespectful to say that you're paying him X amount of dollars an hour as it is to hand him a credit card and say, I'll pay for your hours. That's where I'm at, is that it's just as disrespectful. And I'm telling you, all she was doing was matching their energy. I don't think she was playing dumb. I really do think maybe a little she was playing let me pretend this caught me off guard. But I don't feel that she disrespected the lawyer's time. I don't. Everyone else equally disrespected his time. If that's what we're going to call Nicole is being disrespectful, everyone disrespected his time, because everyone was shouting over him and they weren't letting him talk or speak.
Oh yeah, I mean, in real life, based on who we all are living, yes, no, this is not how any of us would act. But it is a TV show; they are all there to amp things up. Yes. So, what did you think about? Oh, what is Nicole's favorite thing to do? She always goes to. Well, it wasn't my intention. Nicole,
that's fair.
She will live off it wasn't my intention, but they just don't see eye to eye. They just aren't going to be friends. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes. Did you like well, I guess there was a couple other scenes. Julia talking to Adriana.
Mm-hmm.
Adriana looking, a little dusty. Oh, Adriana. But what else was in there? Because at the very end, it was just the two of them talking, Nicole and Alexia. Did you feel a sense of? I mean, obviously, the trailer shows that there's going to be all these big moments in the Bahamas. Did you get a sense of Alexia and Nicole trying to see eye to eye at all, or was that just kind of a quick moment?
I look. I feel like they both want to be friends, but they don't know how to navigate it because Alexia is the person that she is, and she's not going to let up. She's not going to stop taking indirect shots. We've seen it all season, and Nicole's not going to back down. So I think they can be good. And the only reason I'm speaking the way that I'm speaking is because I've had individuals through my life be this way. We've made up. We've continued, move forward. And then all of a sudden there's an indirect shot taken. And it's like, why'd you do that? You know? And I said a second ago, Alexia is.
I can't stand that. That is one thing I do keep it all the way funky. Like in regular life, we do have our ups and downs. We have our getting along moments, not getting along. The people that we care about, we even go through that. Family, we go through that. So I'll tell you one thing that I definitely agree with. I hate that. Like, oh, we're good, we're chill. And really, we're not. So if you harbor anything, like, please don't bring that to me later on. So you feel like a little bit that's what Alexia is holding on to?
Yes, I feel like she can be very two-faced. Because if the other girls say something that she agrees with in contradiction to Nicole, she's going to go with the other girls, even though she just smiled in Nicole's face.
Don't the other girls do that, though, with Nicole? Because it feels like Gertie's, like, hovering up under Nicole a little bit. Same with Alexia. I'm sorry, Julia and Adriana. They're very when Nicole makes a big moment, they're very like, congratulatory of it. It kind of feels the same, doesn't it?
It can feel that way, but I also don't think, again, I'm huge on intention. And when you do things, what is your intent, right? So if you don't, we'll use Lisa as an example. If you don't want to go to the strip club with Lisa, just because it's a strip club, why would you go with Kiki? Right? It's that type of situation. Like,
wait, I don't follow.
Just being two-faced in general.
Who did that?
Alexia. No, but I'm saying, like, I'm just using that as an example of like of not agreeing with something, but then doing it anyways because it just works for your friends, versus not working for someone that you might not necessarily agree with. Then all of a sudden it's not your favorite thing to do. But then when it's your friends, it's something favorite to do. I feel like Alexia is very two-faced.
Don't you make a little bit of a compromise in each situation, though? Like, if there's something I don't like to do, but a friend wants to do it, it's more like I'm going to rock out with them because they want to do it. Like, I could see how that can be done without it being a two-faced situation. You don't make compromises. You know what I'm saying? Like, you make compromises for your friends a little bit.
I make compromises, but I keep my energy equal across the board.
Yeah.
So like,
well, you don't have to do an example. I mean, I get what you're saying.
I'm not going to Del Taco for nobody, but I will go to Taco Bell for everybody. Okay. Does that make sense? I don't know. Maybe my point isn't coming full circle, but like, I'm going to make it happen.
It's all good, man. You like some Dr. Nicole. Nothing's wrong with it. You know what I mean? I like Dr. Anthony. Like, it is what it is.
Not even a doctor.
I know his name's not Doctor, but it's Dr. Feel Good. Yeah. Anyways, I guess that's it for. Well, actually, no. Speaking of Marisol was giving injections to Alexia, and you know what? I like the Sonia Morgan-esque kooky, quirky moments on Housewives. I don't know that everyone does, but I like it. I think they're trying a little hard in terms of the yeah, bro. Like, I'm like, okay, y'all are trying to have a moment in terms of like merch and stuff like that. I get it. It's cool. No diss. But
bro is like can be a very Miami Hispanic thing.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny?
My sister calls her kids bro, and I'm like, what?
I've never
like, why did you do laundry, bro? And I'm like, what?
I've never really loved. I mean, do what you want. When women did the dude, like, dude. I never liked that, but something is a little endearing about the bro part. So you're saying it's just not, they're not putting it on. It's just their natural
I think that's their natural banter.
Oh, okay. I thought they were putting on a little bit like, okay, this is gonna be a merch situation because they like really have been pushing it a lot, but it could be just them too. Yeah.
If you see me with any one of my college friends, like the first thing out of their mouth is "bish," bish. And it's like, no, bish, that's not what we're doing. And it's very genuine, but some people can think that's also a character, but like that's just who we are, and that's our banter.
Yeah.
But I really appreciated Alexia's general shock when she realized that the shot was already done. She was like, oh my gosh, it was very genuine, which I liked. And I want to see more of Alexia in that light. I want to see the shock and awe. I don't want to see the aggressor and the protector. I do like the fact that she protects her children, but I don't want to see her protecting invalid actions. Like, I don't want to see that.
I hate to say it, but we're almost due for an Alexia, not breakdown. I don't want to break down, but a vulnerable
moment.
I'm carrying so much. I'm trying to make it work with my son Peter, and then the girlfriend doesn't like me. And I think we're gonna get a scene with Peter's dad at some point too, I think, or a reference to him.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then of course Alexia is holding on to so much with Frankie, which I mean, what a tough situation. So I don't knock her, but I think that's maybe, and if we're gonna, because you definitely have a Team Nicole side of you, and again, I've always said I like Nicole at the beginning. I'm losing steam. But one thing that I think hopefully can happen, let's just go for let's go for things that are hopeful.
Well, Thomas the Train, you better get some coals and throw them in and get the steam back, okay?
Well, here's what I think can do it, and I don't know, is I think that Nicole is gonna try to continue to communicate with her, and maybe if Alexia could kind of show a little bit more of her. I don't know why, because I'm not necessarily thinking Nicole's shown too much vulnerability either, but I feel like Nicole would totally respect Alexia to kind of give a little bit less of a shell. I think I'm not even saying it's right that Nicole doesn't really like that about her, but at the same time, I feel like that would be an authentic moment that would give a little grace between them. And I think that's like that for everybody. There's a lot of people who have that shell. I know that people don't always like Giselle from Real Housewives of Potomac because she's very she doesn't let a lot of people in on the real authentic things. And it's become a thing that if I were, Alexia's friend, I would say, that these are the things that maybe you should look at next season. I'm not saying she has to go to therapy or anything like that, although therapy is wonderful.
I love therapy. Love it.
The bar.
I avoided it at all costs.
No. The Hell's Kitchen bar. No, joking.
Here's the thing. I would love to see Alexia have her vulnerable moment. I want to see her show more heart. I want to see her have a little bit more compassion, a little bit more cariño, like the affection side of her. I want to see that. I want to root for her. I'm already rooting for her when it comes to Frankie because I think she's doing a magnificent job. But I also want to root for her in the fact that she can be every woman and she really can, steer the train. You know what I mean? Or the boat, since we're going to do a Miami reference. She can steer the boat without hitting the docks.
Yeah.
It's okay to not be defensive all the time. It's okay to not be right all the time. Right?
That's what it is.
Step back. Just take a step back. Right? And Todd is not helping her whatsoever because they lean into each other because they both want to be the louder one at the table and dominate the other couples. And it's like the loudest one in the room necessarily isn't the right one. Right? Russell was sitting back and observing before he said anything. He said maybe 2 or 3 words, right? But it's like he knew it wasn't his place. He did. And again, Anthony was he might have been a little condescending when it came to the chocolates and the flowers, but he wanted to shut everything up. He wanted to shut it up. That was it. And I don't like a lot of BS either when I'm out. If you're doing too much, I will gladly leave and be on my way and enjoy it myself. And I will go have a good time for the rest of the night, right? I don't want you spoiling my night just because you want to act trashy.
Ooh.
I don't care. I don't care about your friend who is not part of my life. If they felt disrespected, that was in their own. That was in their own. Because if they really felt disrespected, that he could have stood up and said something like, "I don't appreciate you disrespecting me and throwing your credit card at me."
Well, that's why that's what. Oh, talking about the guy. Well, I don't know. I mean,
they were really defensive.
The guy might have been shocked by it, though. I mean, it's not. You don't really like when you do a scene like this. You look at people as real people, but when these people, the cast members are so used to accentuating these big scenes. So I think it might have. I think it might have taken everyone off guard. You know what I
He had a
mean?
missed opportunity though. He could have said, "Oh, baby, I don't take credit. I only do cash. I don't
Well,
like to
he's
pay
not trying to
taxes."
be a reality star, though.
Every moment is a moment to be a reality star, and everybody needs to agree with this.
Speaking of star, the only reason I will say the episode was not the strongest is because we didn't see enough of the queen, Larsa. And I just feel like, she effortlessly is winning on screen, off screen, Marcus Jordan, like all
She's
of the things.
busy. Yeah.
Huh?
She's busy. She has to figure out how she's going to inherit that $1 billion fortune from Jordan. Like they're busy.
Yeah.
They're trying to make plans with their money.
I give the episode about a 9. It was still really good. Like I said, the Marisol injecting Alexia was fun.
That was a great moment.
The Frankie with Alexia and them really kind of figuring out what the game plan is. I mean, these were good moments. I'm not certain I'm gonna love all like the trailer, I guess you would say, makes it very dramatic. I hope we have a little bit of fun, and I think that falling down moment isn't a negative moment or an argument. It seems like I looked at it, I kind of slow motioned it. It looks like Gertie's actually laughing, so I think it's more they're making us feel like something bad. No, I think it was more they're having fun. They all fell. I mean, there is some moments, and I'm really going to be upset because I'm never a fan of any of the physical stuff for the most part. You know what I mean? So Alexia, Adriana, who is she throwing a drink on? Like, hopefully she just threw it in the air, because if she threw that on somebody, like, I know I'm not a fan of it.
I don't mind throwing the drink in the air. I don't mind if you have so much anger and frustration. And again, I'm only speculating, but maybe Adriana felt also that she was backed into a corner because she's just so sick and tired of being ridden this season that she couldn't help but like release the energy and throw the drink at the wall. And I mean, for great television and on purposes, like you didn't hurt anybody. You broke a glass. $3 is going to come out of your Peacock check. Like, I'm okay with that. Do I agree with inflicting bodily harm on anybody else? Absolutely not. You should not touch anybody else, because if you do, expect to be touched back and you ain't going to like it.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Me personally, on this show, like, it's kind of like what show you're watching. Like, if it's like a Love and Hip Hop situation, of course there is going to be those moments. But when you watch Housewives, I don't want to see on any franchise. I don't want to see that. One of the reasons I'm always kind of like Adriana is because she did put her hands on Joanna Krupa. To a degree. Yeah. Obviously, it wasn't that big of a deal, but it's still a deal. And to me, it makes you lose the opportunity to have really good housewives, because kind of like what Nicole's always saying, like, oh, I don't want to risk, my job because of this show. It's like you are going to continue to lose really good potential castmates, because only certain people are going to do a show that gets this crazy and this wild. And this is not what it was about.
That's why Basketball Wives is not success. Like, they have a level of success,
well,
but they're not as successful as Housewives.
Well, it's not successful because Tammy's not on it no more. It's not successful because Jen was all in the trailer, which is a problem. I got to ask you something, and we moved through topics quickly. This is what you said a bit ago. Okay, Russell. Get ready. And she is not having a good moment, but this was your original opinion. Well, there's always been kind of rumors, but I would be
now.
For it.
Do you think she's too in the press?
Oh,
what do you think? I don't want to see her.
I would. Okay, well, I feel like this is a tangent, but we'll kind of wrap it quickly. I just feel like, can we see her in another role? Like, I don't like. She always kind of comes in, lights it on fire, and then leaves. Like,
she's
I think
at some Staub. No one wants her.
You called her a what?
She's a Danielle Staub. Nobody wants her.
We're gonna have to revisit this. We're gonna have to revisit this. She wasn't bad on Girls Trip.
Nobody wants her.
No, I could never argue
She's
with
like
you.
The last piece of the bread. Everybody passes her up.
Oh boy, tell us how you really feel. Moving along, because I really ain't got nothing. I was gonna say why not, but maybe not. I don't know. Oh my gosh! I mean, tell me how
bread, baby. Everybody passes her up.
You were not into Brandy, so what do you feel redeemed? Not redeemed, but do you feel like, I don't know, how do you feel knowing that Brandy and Caroline, there was an issue, and where I find conflict, and I'll stop chatting for a moment, and you can pick this up. I find a little challenging that the show sort of forces everyone to one up each other and to have these epic moments. And then it happens. And then now, allegedly there might be like an investigation, or I don't know how Caroline, I don't know how it's going to carry out. However, to me, and you might say, I seen this coming, it feels weird to know that Brandy just did her job to be messy on this show. And now she may lose a check. Like, if she was on the borderline of getting a diamond or whatever you call it, she probably lost it, right? What do you think?
Absolutely. I think Andy touched on this when it came to Watch What Happens Live a few weeks ago. There is actually a human resources department that the housewives do report to if something goes affray, right? So Caroline Manzo was disrespected. She didn't want to be kissed or touched on the lips by another woman, including Brandy Glanville, and Brandy Glanville doesn't know how to respect boundaries. So as we seen before in Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Brandy Glanville brought out this speculation that there were relations had with other castmates, and it's like, for what reason? You know what I mean? Like, It's okay to be messy, and again, it's okay to lean into your sexuality and appreciate who you are and what we are as individuals, but also, if someone is not into you sexually and they don't want you to touch them, that is very much harassment. And you cannot cross that line no matter, because we would not accept this from a man. And I think that's where I'm going with this. We wouldn't accept this from a man kissing one of the women on the show, or a man kissing another man on the show that isn't fellow gay or fellow bisexual.
Right.
Right. It's unacceptable. And this is what I mean when I talk about society holding a line of standards across the board and not being wishy-washy, and one is more severe than the other, because at the end of the day, anything sexually that comes onto you that is unwarranted or unwanted is not okay, whether it's a man or woman or non-binary.
Right.
Right?
I think this is actually a really great point. And yesterday I was lucky enough to be a guest on Next Mood Swing. Follow on YouTube, Jesse and Courtney and Daryl. And I remember Jesse saying something along the lines of Wendy from Potomac, and he worded it really great. It wasn't about Wendy shouldn't be on the show. It's not a good show for Wendy. And also following up on that, Brandy needs to be off Housewives for her own health. So while it feels enticing and an allure to be on this show and you build your business, and I think she still has a little bit of a scarred moment in her in terms of being sort of, dropped the way Eddie Cibrian did with her. I feel like that's still really ruining her, but on some level, she keeps rehashing that. Brandy needs a moment. And this is one of the things I always say in terms of why I don't, and it's probably why I'm not popping on social media, because for one, I hate social media, but the concept is the way you're designed in order to build your brand and your business. And I always hear everyone say it, you should post at least 5 times a day. I'm going to go sick. Me, Ronnie. I don't care what you do. You do what you do. Me, Ronnie, I'm going to go sick to my stomach. To post that much, to warrant that much attention, to have that much commentary. I'm of the old school. I'm a dusty 42-year-old, 1980, but the skin still looks good, baby.
Yes, it does.
But my point is, I feel like where it takes you, or what it requires you to do to win these days, is at the cost of a lot. And I always say, like, gosh, I wish my channel did better. Or, of course, I've been doing a lot of things with Miss Jones over at 94.7 The Block, the best station in New York right now. Jonesy in the morning. Hello. And I love it all, but I always keep my pacing as far as what I could handle. And that is a thing that I didn't have when I was younger. When I was in my 20s and got into radio in 2002, a long time ago, I would work 9 days a week because I would do whatever is required. So I'm a little like headstrong in terms of being having the wherewithal to say that's not a good look for me. So I really do feel like that comment is actually valuable. I would hope that Brandy could see this. It's not a hater comment at all. Brandy needs to be off Housewives for her own health. She does seem to have a nice following with her podcast. She has done other shows and she could do the Brandy thing, but as her kids are getting older, and it feels like, I think one of the sons is going to follow Eddie Cibrian and be a model or whatever the case. Like, I feel like she could take a beat, take a moment, and regroup. Do you have any part of you, Russell, that feels Brandy could redeem herself in due time?
Look, I like Brandy in The Traitors. That's on Peacock. I think that was a great fit for her. I would like to see Brandy do more reality competition because she has the fire within her to maintain the competitor's edge. Brandy really does have that about her. I will say Brandy on Traders is great because she fits perfect. Like if no one's seen this on Peacock, it really is a fascinating show.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a competition, and it's a reality competition. If Brandy was young enough, I would say, hell, I would like to see her on the challenge.
Yeah.
Because she's
Oh,
a
right.
little messy, and I think
Mm-hmm.
she fits into that role.
Yeah.
So I think Brandy needs to lean more into those things. And the only reason I have such an issue with Brandy, again, is because you can't do things that are unwarranted. Also, don't blast Denise Richards if you guys actually had relations with her husband or whatever. Like, that's something that has to be spoken about before you bring it on television, especially if it's amongst 3 people that are on the same show. You know, there's that. Let me continue with this.
Oh, let me throw up a comment real quick as Karen is one of our chatters is stepping away. I just wanted to put this real quick. Ronnie and Russell, I have to head out. This was a lot of fun. Oh, thank you. Hope to be able to catch you guys again next week. Well, we will keep the content coming. As Russell said, Real Housewives of New Jersey will be on his channel. So, tie in together and, you'll find one of us on one of our channels. And y'all are so awesome, which is a really great comment to hear. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you so much, Karen. And it's so good to hear from you again. I really appreciate you. And I'm so happy you're on the West Coast because you're on the best coast again with me. But again, thank you so much for all the support that you've given me throughout the years for my career. I really appreciate it. I really do. If you can, go give Create the Escape on Peacock an honest watch and, drop me some comments. Let me know what you think.
Very good. Okay, back to what you were saying about Brandy. You had a little bit more to say about that?
You are what you associate with, right? So Brandy keeps continuously surrounding herself with bad people. And I know a few people that are in her circle, and I'm like, oh, good thing. Like, they're like all cuts of the same cloth kind of thing. And I don't blame Eddie for not wanting to be with Brandy. I think when you want to distance yourself from bad energy and switch up for something that's good energy, like Leanne Rhymes, I think they're a very good match because they're both happy-go-lucky, very simple people, not in a bad way, but just they appreciate the simple things in life. And Brandy likes more dramatic scenery, very things that'll catch you off guard. That's very much Brandy's brand. But again, I think Jesse was right. She needs to step away from Housewives in total. In its entirety. I don't want to see her on Girls Trip. I would like to see her on Traders, another show version of Traders or something like that. Even hell, go take some acting classes. I would love to see her in a horror film. I think she might do very exceptional when it comes to a horror film or maybe a thriller. I think she would fit great in that aspect, but just get away from Housewives at this point. It's not working for you. You do have a fan base, but I don't think the Housewife fan base is your fan base. I think very much reality show competition is right up her alley. I would love to see her try things like Wipeout or Cannonball or the challenge, the challenge senior class. Right? That would be nice. But I definitely don't think she's a fit for Housewives anymore. The brand has transitioned into this whole other beast that I don't think she fits anymore. She fit at the beginning, but as of this point, I think it's just better for her and potentially for the relationship with her children to step away from Housewives because you don't want to see your mother doing these lewd acts of conduct against anybody else and it's unwarranted because that can also give us a skewed perception or perspective depending on how young her kids are, and it could be very impressionable. They can be very impressionable and think that these things are okay as long as you're doing it with friends, and it's not. And again, we wouldn't accept it from a man or a non-binary person, so we cannot accept this from a woman as well. I'm sorry, but you got to hang your hat and you just got to be on your way. And I think Peacock, having her leave abruptly was a great move. I think Caroline leaving was for her own sanity because she really needed to step back and process what happened, because if you're any times a victim of anything that's unwarranted, you have to go through the process of what the hell just happened, right? What did I just go through mentally, emotionally? especially when it comes to something like someone trying to make out with you or kiss you, or I don't know the extent of the situation, but I definitely think I've had someone try to make a move on me at the bar that I was completely not interested in, and they were very aggressive, and it felt like I couldn't breathe or get out of the situation fast enough. And so I think them both taking a break right now is good. I think Brandy, again, she should probably, again, nobody wants to see her in Housewives anymore. She should go on her way and continue with her. And again, her being away from Housewives has given her a more peaceful relationship with Eddie and Leanne Rimes. And and she gave them a shout out for the holidays. And I think that's great.
Like I said, the only part that I have a little defense for it is like the show sort of requires so much chaos, and then you give the chaos and then you accidentally go overboard, you lose your work. But and I'm not going to stay on that. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Where I want to go, I'm just saying I have a little bit of like, these shows are too chaotic, if you ask me. But what I will say is I sometimes used to not like this term, but it is the truth. Like, it's a blessing in disguise. Like, you know, one of the people that I've always loved, because I come from radio, was Lala Vasquez, Lala Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
And when she seamlessly moved, I mean, you know, being a Brooklyn girl, but then starting her career in Atlanta with Ludacris, and then hopping to LA as a young 21-year-old and just making her presence known in LA radio at a time that radio still held a lot of weight, and then getting the MTV gig, working that as big as you can get it at that time. But her and actually Vanessa Minnillo did this too. They both stepped away from hosting work, because the thing is, if you continue to do where the check is going to come easily, but that's not in alignment with what you want to do ultimately, both of them wanted to be actresses. You're kind of going to stick with it, you know?
Yeah.
And so do you see what I'm saying? And Lala to me has always been such a woman of integrity. She's somebody I've actually wanted to interview for a while. I mean, I spent 10 years working at American Latino TV, and we were, check this, I don't want to say never able to, but, you know, just not easily. She was one of the harder people to try to get in contact with. Even that shows something. Like, she carried herself with an esteem. You teach people how to treat you. And anyways, this is going a little off tangent with the Brandy situation. But what I'm saying is, you don't have Lala ending up on Power and BMF like overnight. You know, you don't go from, you know, the hosting work, which may have not fulfilled Lala at one time. You know, it's apples and oranges for sure. Brandy on Housewives versus whatever Brandy's real dream is. Maybe it's, I don't know what it is. But you don't go shade. No, I don't know. I don't think you go through these things like, you know, today this and tomorrow that. You have to carefully navigate. And I think what makes it special about what we do as broadcasters is we're always trying to navigate. You know, I always let the world know, you know, Russell, not only a great co-host with me, but he is on the television show, you know, Create the Escape, Peacock Network. You know, I let people know, you know, my Patreon account. I let them know I've been doing radio for 20 years. I let them know my intentions. So Brandy, even though people could, you know, talk a little trash about Brandy, this is a golden opportunity. It may not seem like it right now, but it really is a golden opportunity. You're far too pretty and really funny to be, I think what you said, aligning yourself with the wrong group of people, the wrong crowd. This business is not, look at me giving advice. It's show business. I remember somebody telling me that once. It's not show art. It's show business. So there's a lot more components to just your performance. That's the stuff we want to be good at. We want to be funny, et cetera, et cetera.
Brandy could very much be the next Ali Lauder from Obsessed. I feel like if she really takes the classes and she gets her acting skills in order, she can play those villainesque characters that we love to not like. Or again, she could have been the nanny from The Hand That Rocks the Cradle back in the 90s. Perfect role for Brandy. Housewives is just not it anymore. And it's okay. And it's okay to move on in life. Just like it's okay for Lisa to move on from her marriage and get into something better. It's okay to step away from things that the universe isn't aligning for you anymore. If it's not working, stop trying to make it happen.
For everyone who's watching our program and enjoying it, I want to give you the social media handles and all that if you want to support each of us, because we are out here making it happen, trying our very best. So check this out real quick. This is the Real Housewives of Miami recap. We thank you for watching each and every week. It's been a lot of fun. RussellRaySilva.com and Russell X Raymond if you want to go to his Instagram and TikTok. Mine is RandomlyRJR.com. Instagram and TikTok is at RandomlyRJ. Special thanks to Social Pop Now, Pop Culture POV, and Difficult Podcasters because we are making it work. Patreon.com/RandomlyRonnieJr. if you want to support me. So I say thank you to all that. Anyways, how you feeling?
Who joined us today?
Say it again.
I said, and thank you everyone that joined us today. You know, it was a good time.
Very good.
We do have some points that we're going to touch on next week that Ronnie did mention to me about, but we don't want to do any spoilers because I need to read more into this and I need to find out more. And it's been a 2-hour episode. We always say we're going to do 30 minutes and just the girls keep talking. Okay, I'm going to end us with this. Julia had the dog bite, and I will let you know that I once had a dog bite as well. 16 stitches. It was not fun. So every time I see Julia in a scene with her bandage, I'm always like, oh yeah, I remember when the Rottweiler bit me, and it was not fun. Okay, Russell, we got to go. I'll talk to you later.
Hey, Ronnie Jr.